What I remember is that I'm 13 and I'm stumbling along the overgrown verge of a rural A road on a flat grey afternoon, late summer 98. Cars keep passing fast and loud, so you can see it from their perspective if you like. A boy, the height of a man, in a t-shirt and backpack, not looking up from the ground in front of him. There are many thoughts passing through my head, but one in particular keeps coming back. I can't go home again. Home being a dormitory village, 20 miles from Peterborough. It's fast asleep and sleeping dreams. It's perfectly innocent of everything. 24 houses and a river, Harper's Brook, shin deep, clear enough by daylight. When all these people drive past it like it's nothing, and their cars cross the brook and head up to the road, and they'll go out to their jobs all day like normal. But when it's late and I'm awake, in secret listening, I can hear them all coming back, wading into the black water to stare back up at my window and probe for what lies buried in the silt. Today I'm getting out. The passing cars count down the minutes till I'm safe. I'm heading for Oundle, the nearest town, 6 or 7 miles away depending, because I know how to get the bus from there to Peterborough, and from Peterborough, who knows, somewhere I haven't done what here I always will have done. When you're young, you can believe that time's a cycle, that every chance comes round again, till you do something irreversible and the world ends, and time turns out to be an arrow after all. In which case, what else can you do but follow it? But I'm not away yet, and out here on the road, with each car that passes, the feeling is exposure. I must have been seen already. Already someone might be following. So I make my first mistake and take the track that cuts through the woods, where I think I can't be seen, over the road and jump the gate onto a strip of gravel and cow parsley, between lumps of broken concrete and the inevitable hedgerows, the fields beyond for miles around a rapeseed, headache yellow. And this is functional countryside, built for scale, unsentimental. And as I walk, I'm turning over images obsessively, fragments of what happened, what I saw on my mum's face after, when she couldn't look at me. But the feeling of exposure is getting worse, like something keeps touching the small of my back, enough to make me turn and look again. There's no one there. But I pick my pace up anyway, and it's a relief to get beneath the trees at last. The first part here is natural woodland, a narrow bridleway, hoof prints, no wild flowers left by now, all of it tired and dusty from the long months of heat. I pick my way across the hardened ruts and between dense ferns and brambles and trunks of trees whose names I don't know, all dead still and quiet. And the last uncoiling tentacle of home rolls out alongside me as I walk, saying, "Listen to the silence. We're miles away from everything. Here you can sleep." And it's true, I love it. I always did, to jump on my bike and roll up into this stillness, to be somewhere big enough to hide from anything. But maybe I've never really been alone in here. The first sign of evening is a sudden gust of wind that moves through the canopy, and the leaves swim in it. Black, silver black, like salmon in a documentary. And I've crossed into the timber plantation, where the trees stand taller in ranks. I stare off down the deep avenues. I don't like it so much. And maybe it's the trunks in parallax, or maybe something moves halfway to the vanishing point. And I don't know the path anymore. The first time it forks, that isn't a problem. I've got a clear instinct. I press on. Out the other side, I'll see the town, even if it's dark. But now there's another junction, and I hesitate, because neither path seems right. Little pinpricks in my gut let cold air in where it shouldn't be. But I choose, and I'm walking, and here's a third fork, and I don't know where I am at all, and the light's really starting to go. I feel like I'm being held. I start to panic. I rush down another path, but after 5 minutes it evaporates in shadow, so I double back and almost miss the junction. And when I do take the other fork, it leads me in circles to a standing pool that stinks. The water is luminous black. Maybe my mistake was back at the first junction. I try and work my way back. I give up retracing my steps and run heedless through the undergrowth to where I think the path should be, and then I see the trees are thinning out ahead of me, and the relief is big and palpable. To be outside, to be through it all and free. But it's just a clearing. Only a brief respite from the trees that stand still thicker opposite. About 100 yards by 50, a grid of stumps where the trees have been felled, and the ground is a thick carpet of moss, and the last of the light is caught like a stagnant puddle. And at last I'm giving up because I see what guilt means. Or is it shame? Or what's the difference between the two? Because either one can turn your home into a prison. But I'm shocked back out of all of that by a glimpse of fur. 10 paces away, in a hollow between 3 stumps. Supposedly, when rats swarm over, say, a carcass, some of their tails trigger each other's grasp reflex and make a knot. And when the swarm clears, these rats are tied to one another like a living pinwheel. And when they panic and pull in different directions, the knot tightens. And they're stuck like that till they die. It's known as a rat king. There are 7. It's the knot I find myself staring at. This impossibly complex fleshy tangle that looks intestinal, like it shouldn't be exposed to the air. Are you going to pick it up? She just stands there, like she materialised out of the air. A man a few yards further off behind, grinning. I know their faces from the village, they must know me. What are you doing here? Nothing. My voice sounds wrong. Then why do you look like that? She's wearing an expensive athletic t-shirt, pale grey, but with a metallic high-vis sheen that steals what's left of the light. Did we catch you? They don't take their eyes off me. It's late for a boy to be out. I manage a shrug, like, sure. She smirks. You better come back with us. No. You want to stay here in the dark? I can't go home. It's the first time I've said it out aloud. Now I want to take it back. She looks at me. What did you do? The man's much closer now. We form a triangle, the 3 of us, around the rats. Tell me. I see how I'm lost. What can I do? I tell her. And she laughs, sharp, gasping, stupid creature. She turns to the man. It doesn't matter, does it? He shakes his hand. She turns back to me. Looks me dead in the eye. You won't forget it anyway. Then she steps forward, so quickly I flinch, and hoiks up the Rat King. She holds it up by the knot, the whole sorry dangling weight like she's testing the drop on a rope. The light's almost gone now. I can hardly see the bodies against the trees, just like the tails, like threads of gristle over the man, who juts his jaw forward like he's popping his ears, and then he just lets it drop, his jaw dropping to his chest impossibly wide, like it's dislocated, like a snake swallowing an egg. And he swallows, very impossibly slowly. His neck distending and releasing, and he's in profile to me, so I can only see one of his eyes, and it's fixed on mine. I look away instinctively to her. She's watching him, with her own mouth slightly open. Little swallowing movements in her own throat. A little jut of the heads as the rats go down, like she wants to follow them. The run through the dark is endless, like the darkness itself is endless. Shards of it cutting at my face and hands, the trees and the land and the sky completely invisible, and down the track, twisting my ankle and running and running and running. I think my mum sees it as a kind of penance. I think she comes to that. Sitting up in the kitchen all night, cleaning the scratches, not leaving the room. I think it's enough, for her at least, to let everything else go. For me,